This is Weights and Wealth, your one-stop shop for entertaining education on building a stronger body and bank account.
We are not doctors or financial advisors and must warn you this is not medical or investing advice. It is for your entertainment.
Welcome back to Weights and Wealth. Ted gave me a great clap right there to ring us in this November. This recording session, we'll be covering a couple things that have probably already been, kind of beaten and fully covered in the mainstream media. And leave it up to Weights and Wealth to always be a couple months late. But in case you forgot, we're here to remind you.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good thing to talk about. We're going to be talking about freedom of speech and communication, public discourse, and the whole Charlie Kirk assassination happened a little over 2 months ago. But I think it's good to talk about it again now that things have cooled down and emotions have cooled a bit since it happened. Because immediately when it happened, the coverage on it was insane across all podcasts, social media, the news, everything.
For sure.
So we'll get into some related freedom of speech issues around the world in the intro, and then we'll just get into the Charlie Kirk assassination and public discourse, why it's important, what the Constitution gives us in that regard. So we'll get right into that. But first, the shout out. Shout out goes to Malachi from Arlington, Virginia. He subscribed to us on YouTube, and then he gave us some suggestions on the new thumbnails. If you haven't seen the new thumbnails, they're on all of our platforms now. We upgraded a little bit. I hope we're now in the Gen Z kind of thumbnail market, what they're looking for.
I feel we're all Gen Z, so
I guess we are, yeah.
Ipso facto, we are.
We're right between the Gen Z and millennial kind of lump, but all right, Weights Wisdom. Sean, you want to hit it?
Well, we got the Raffle Winner for this month.
You're trying to treat Saeed here.
Saeed from Irvine, California. He comments on YouTube a lot and messages with us on Instagram. We're always talking about weights and wealth things with him. So thank you, Saeed. You'll be getting your $5 Starbucks gift card in the mail sometime in the next few weeks.
Yeah, hopefully in time for the Starbucks Christmas drinks.
Yeah.
No promises though. So for the Weights Wisdom, we have adding a full body exercise to every workout you do, particularly if you do kind of a push-pull legs or more of a bodybuilding split with perhaps a delts and arms day in there. Things like heavy carries, sled pushes, sled drags, med ball throws, farmer's carries, stuff like that. Really to get every part of your body activated and kind of refresh that muscle group. Because I think most studies show that you want to hit, I think it's at least 2, potentially 3 times a week.
Yeah, optimal frequency is typically going to be 2 to 3 times a week. Differs a little bit with different muscles. But with getting a full body lift in there, if you are doing some sort of split, like Sean mentioned, can help with a more global stimulus, and that can help with more gains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just another benefit of just doing full body workouts in general is I've been seeing multiple studies recently showing that you have more HGH and testosterone released when you squat. So, and you will overall gain more muscle mass if you're squatting regularly. So even if you're doing a chest workout and then you hit a couple sets of squats, your chest will also benefit from the hormonal release.
Yeah, that's typical with axial loading. So anytime you're loading the spine, get a usually slightly elevated HGH and testosterone response to that workout. That can be kind of negligible because it's a spike after the workout. It's not like your entire testosterone will stay elevated by 200 milligrams per deciliter for the next 8 days.
Yeah.
But it is something in the testosterone ebook when we talk about your workout programming that can help raise those levels over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, moving on to the intro article. If I do fall, I was just looking down at my chair because I felt something poking me in the leg. The chair is broken on one side, so I'm kind of being supported by this chair. So
That's why
if you see,
in the middle.
yeah. So if you see
We're
me,
really hoping it brings the episode.
if you see me fall mid-episode, that is why. But the intro article comes from All Sides Media. You can follow them on Instagram. They'll typically introduce major headlines and give you different media sources, what the headlines are from them, and then the political slant of each of those outlets. But from the All Sides team, this article talks about arrests from social media in the UK. So I'll just read like the top part and then a couple other parts. But custody data obtained by the Times of London, a centre-biased source, earlier this year showed that British authorities made on average about 12,000 arrests per year between 2021 and 2023 for social media posts or private messages.
Private messages.
Numbers have increased year over year according to the data, up from 5,502 in 2017. So yeah, it's a big increase. And 12,000 arrests per year for social media posts and private messages is insane to anyone living in America that thinks, oh, you have the freedom of speech. That's very unique in America. Not everywhere has that. You may have seen videos on social media of people getting arrested or getting citations in the UK from police for something they said on social media or for something they said in the street. And then the rest of the article goes through some of the examples. And then something I found interesting at the bottom was this is covered routinely on social media. British Health Secretary said it should be reviewed, and then Canada's National Post, a right-leaning source, published an opinion titled "UK Policing of Hate Crimes Should Be a Warning to Canada." So to our friends up north, little warning on that. But also, I feel like in America, there's like a little bit of a call for this to happen from people that maybe don't understand the Constitution, don't understand our rights very well. They think that like hate speech is a separate classification of speech, and they think that anything that's offensive to them is hate speech. Whereas like in America, we have freedom of speech and you can say things that people disagree with, and you can't be arrested for that. But I feel like a lot of people in America are calling for speech they don't like to be classified as hate speech and a crime. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, and like the example that I hear people cite a lot is that you can't yell fire in like a crowded movie theater, but that's just like trying to cause chaos, and like I don't even think you would be arrested for that.
No, I think that's actually kind of like an urban legend.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'll fact check myself.
I would
on
be
this later, but like,
I mean, like you'll get kicked out, but that's also a private establishment.
Yeah, you won't be arrested.
I don't think that you'll actually be arrested. And so I don't know. I've just heard that used as a reason why speech should be further limited. And I mean, it's not even like a great example, and it's a slippery slope too. Like you can't say that even if you limit one thing, then you can limit as much as you want.
I mean, the U.S. does have a history of doing this. You know, like the Anti-Communist Act of, I think it was like 1952. Like it banned like even like political association. Mm-hmm. So I agree that like, you know, freedom of speech is 100% important, and I think one of the major reasons it's, I guess, being degraded right now is, you know, bring up kind of the elephant in the room is the demographic change. Like if you take primarily, you know, historically American community and then you change the demographics drastically over 2 decades, now you have people that historically do not value these things, and, you know, sure, they might come here for the better economic, you know, opportunity and stuff like that, but do they care about the Constitution? Some do.
Yeah.
You know, like Eastern Europeans,
Cubans,
yeah. Venezuelans, they do, but, you know, people from other areas of the world, they might not, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a result.
Yeah, I also feel like an underlooked aspect of this is people will often say, oh, it's hateful to say these things about groups of people, and they don't want people to be able to say those things. But then that same group of people will consistently call someone like Charlie Kirk a Nazi when he's not a Nazi, and then it leads to violence. So it's kind of like
known as projection.
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation with what people consider hate speech.
And one thing I want to note here with this article in particular, I don't remember where I heard it, but this article has been covered a couple times by bigger podcasts. And one of them, they brought up that the UK is arresting more people than like Russia and Belarus and China. Like probably the top 3 most first world countries that have repressive, speech laws.
Yeah.
The UK is arresting like 2 to 3 times.
This is Gulag Archipelago UK version.
Yeah.
Yeah. And stuff like this is why I'm always hesitant to travel to foreign countries. Like leaving the US honestly kind of scares me because I don't know what their political system is like there. And I'm just worried that I'm going to get arrested for some stupid reason. Whereas here,
Nick had an opportunity to go to another country and he called me and he was like, hey, do you think I should go? I'm worried about getting arrested. And I was like, getting arrested for what? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna go.
Yeah. I don't know. Just like I know like American laws, I know like our how our system works, and just going to another country where I don't understand the system, it just scares me.
What country was it?
So was Israel.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean,
anything could happen there.
All right, moving on. We have some interesting reversals in things that have been reiterated constantly. So more speech-based issues, but a couple of these major things that have seen reversals recently are Bill Gates came out reversing his course on climate change, no longer saying it's a doomsday level threat. We have an article here, but we already went into an article. We don't want to take too long, but he said something along the lines of climate change may affect some people, but most people around the world will still be able to live comfortably, and it won't be a crisis that we're facing. So that's very different than the decades of public speaking that Bill Gates has done and the hundreds of millions of dollars he's spent trying to propagate the climate change doomsday scenario.
It's almost as if like the need for billions of gigawatts of power to to fuel his AI initiative has changed his mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that could be it.
No, this is 100%. It's 100% it. Because
you think that's 100% the reason he reversed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, is that all the tech guys have realized that we can't just outsource everything to China or India, and we need to have power infrastructure. If that's the only thing, like if the only thing we have is power, like we can still be ahead and still be the most valuable companies in the world. But if DeepSeek is the Chinese one.
Yeah.
Like Gates and Zuckerberg are probably concerned about DeepSeek and other foreign competitors because their opinion of artificial intelligence is that the company that wins and achieves like true AI, they dominate for eternity.
Yeah.
Because now you have patented the Allfather, essentially.
The AGI.
Yeah. And it's like nothing else matters. That's why Zuck is giving people $300 million offers to come train AI.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Those offers that are bigger than like
hilarious.
top athlete contracts are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For AI engineers.
Wait, have you guys seen his 2010 TED talk on climate change?
Was that the one with
Gates?
depopulation?
Yes.
Yes.
It's just crazy that he was willing to go to those kind of lengths, like trying to limit the population. And like, I mean, which I saw a clip on Instagram about it, and like, I thought it was like clipped or chopped or something like that.
Nah,
so I had
you
to
watched
go
the whole
actually
thing, yeah.
watch the entire TED talk. And yeah, he did talk about trying to limit population growth to fight climate change.
Yeah.
And then to now realize that it, might not be what he thought it was. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy to go from that, willing to go to those lengths to changing your opinion on it.
Yeah. I mean, good for him for changing his opinion and kind of realizing that he was caught in a big farce. But
I think honestly what we need to do is we need to go back and look at the market incentives behind climate change.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been a huge money laundering scheme essentially, and like a false idol that people have worshipped, in my opinion. But moving on, there's another one that we have here. Very interesting trend brought up on Joe Rogan, and we found some stats that confirm it. So, Sean, you want to start off with this one, or do you want to pull up the article?
Yeah.
So, basically, on Joe Rogan, Elon Musk recently said that since he bought Twitter in 2022, the rates of people declaring themselves as transgender or non-binary have started decreasing now that people aren't caught in these echo chambers as much. And so the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, FIRE, which conducts a large annual survey of U.S. undergraduates, polled over 60,000 people. So the rates from 2023, what was it, 6.8%? 6.8% declared themselves as transgender or non-binary in 2024, and then 5.2% 6.8% in 2023, 5.2% in 2024, and then 3.6% in 2025.
Yeah.
So basically almost cut in half since Elon has bought Twitter. So that's a huge reduction. And that's pretty crazy. And then another survey from Boston showed 9.2% in 2023, which is such a high number compared to historical data. And then now it's dropped down to 2.6% in 2025. So that's almost a fourfold reduction. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just, it was a fad.
Yeah.
Like anorexia, like bulimia, like any other weird societal thing that was going on that, people bought into, like it was like being a hipster. Except it had far deeper and like
the Gen Z hipster move,
more like damaging consequences long term. So it's like,
and like I know, Sean, you've like talked about your information diet before, and like I think this kind of lends to why you should really pay attention to that, because what you read and view can really get into your psyche.
Oh, yeah,
a lot more so than people think. Like a lot of people think that they're outside of that kind of, but people are easily influenced and
the books
manipulated
you read,
by what
the music you listen to, the media you watch. Everything shapes you.
Yeah. And people are like, oh, it's just a song, it's just a movie, but like you're listening to it, singing along. I don't know.
Yeah. There are synapses in your brain being formed. There are neural pathways being, formed that will either incline you to a certain kind of behavior or, steer you towards another. And, some, it might make you trans. I don't know. Who knows?
So speaking of information steering you towards a certain form of behavior, let's move on to Charlie Kirk, because he put out a lot of content that I think did a lot to steer many people
away from being trans.
Yeah, in the younger generation.
That is true. That is true. There are multiple former trans people that have credited their detransitioning to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he had a big impact on a lot of people. Such a big impact that I feel for a lot of us. There's people always talk about, like, people remember exactly where they were and what they were doing when 9/11 happened, or when Michael Jackson died, or like these other significant events in our culture. So where were you guys when Charlie was assassinated? What was your reaction? And do you think you'll like always remember that day?
Yeah, I mean, I was just sitting at home working, which when I first saw it, I was like, I didn't really believe it at first. I thought it was one of those things that was just going around. But then I looked at like 5 or 6 different things, and I was like, okay, like he was probably actually shot. I'm like, I don't know. I was just kind of in shock because he's been one of the most influential, outspoken people that has really been huge on social media. And I was like, oh, like I don't know. We just kind of lost somebody who was really influential. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was at work too. And it was like, I think it was the day or two after the Irina Zaritska murder.
Yeah, I think it was
footage.
2 days after.
Yeah, and so like, you know, that whole thing, like I was already, you know, I had been, you know, reading up about that stuff, and that's pretty a frustrating thing to be aware of. And then I see this, and it's like, you know, it's like kind of a 1-2. It's like, wow, like this is where we are.
Yeah.
You know, and so I would say it was a very I hate to use the word like black pilling, but it's like it's a very sour pill to swallow. Of like, wow, okay, like kind of like flicks you in the forehead, and you're like, hey, wake up.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, what's a black pill, such as myself?
It's like despairing, like it's over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're a doomer. Like,
Yeah, it's like red pill, blue pill, black pill's like, it doesn't matter, we're screwed, like no matter what we do kind of thing. I was also at work in the office, and then one of my NCOs was like, oh my gosh, Charlie Kirk was just shot. And then I looked down at my phone, and I was starting to get a bunch of messages from group chats with Sean and group chats with like other people, family, and everyone was just lighting up all the group chats. And then there like seemed like 10 minutes later there were videos all over social media of the shot, and then eventually like 5 minutes later close-up videos of Charlie when he got shot. And
those are disgusting. If you haven't seen them, don't watch them.
Like Alex was texting me, and she's like, I'm not watching the video because someone put it in one of the group chats we were in. She's like, I'm not watching the video. But then she was on social media, and it just came up like in her timeline. She saw it. She's like, it's everywhere. But I think part of why this is such a like shocking event that will remain in people's heads for such a long time is because of the graphicness of what we were able to see up close. Whereas like in the past, before everyone always had these phones on them with the cameras, like you would never be able to see that. You would just hear in the news that Charlie got shot, and it would
like
still be big, but
like
it
everyone
wouldn't
in
be.
the world was there.
Yeah.
You know, that's essentially what those videos did.
Yeah.
So it took everyone who watched it online and put them, you know, in the perspective of the whole person holding the phone.
Yeah. And I don't know about you guys, but like I don't remember where I was when Trump got shot. It was like a big deal when it happened, but this was like so much bigger than that.
Well, I think because
especially since he's not like in office.
Or I think because it worked.
Yeah.
I think that's why it was so big, is because my initial reaction is the same, you know, as when like the news popped that Trump got shot, you know, and no shit, like what the hell's going on? But then it, you know, quickly became apparent that, you know, Trump was okay. And so everyone's like, okay, wow, you know, now it's the mystery, like who did this?
We still don't know.
Yeah. Tucker Carlson just released a pretty good, like 30-minute segment on Thomas Crooks, so definitely worth checking out. But I think this one is more impactful because he did not survive. Yeah. And it was pretty apparent that he didn't.
Yeah.
So.
What do you guys think Charlie's legacy will be moving forward now that he's not obviously producing content anymore?
I mean, Ted, you already made the 9/11 analogy, and I think it's the same, but in an inverse kind of way. 9/11 united America against an outsider. Charlie's assassination kind of split us.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the
divided us against each other instead of uniting us against outsiders.
And sadly, like his legacy, like he has done a lot of great things, and a lot of people, you know, now looked into his content and like actually started watching him who had never done that because, you know, there was such a, you know, politicized reaction to his murder. But I do think that one of the lasting legacies is like, yeah, it really, it's kind of a line, you know. It's like I know that there are people who, you know, posted things and, you know, like it kind of shows what type of people they are, And like, I mean, the reaction on both sides, like people were making like databases of people who posted nasty things. Like everyone was, kind of losing it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And I think that's part of just like how shocking and crazy and sad it was. People had such an emotional reaction, obviously, to it. But I think, the videos celebrating his murder were so shocking to everyone that supported Charlie and that felt like they knew him from, I don't know if you guys have ever been to an event. I've been to an event, and like a TPUSA event for Charlie, or like that he was at. And like I was pretty involved in TPUSA as like a student. We tried to start a chapter at my high school that was like a part debate club, part Turning Point chapter, and then in college, some of the guys tried to start one, and it was a lot of RTC guys. So they told us, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing that. Find someone else to do it. It's not an RTC." But yeah, it's just I think his like lasting legacy will be like inspiring people to pursue reasonable debate with other people they disagree with. I think that and turning people towards Christ will be like his two biggest legacies.
Well, that's what he said he wanted his legacy to be.
Yeah.
Getting people to follow Christ. But I feel like I have to disagree about like the pursuing dialogue, because it's like, if anything, like kind of like I alluded to earlier, like his death almost marks like an attempt. I'm not going to say it ended dialogue, but it's a watershed moment where it's like, okay, this guy made his career on come on stage with me, here's a microphone, tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Kind of like Steven Crowder, I would say more effective.
More respectful,
And
more effective, yeah.
And they shot him. So it's like, okay, like, the pen is only mightier than the sword until the sword is used. You know what I mean? And I think that, in some ways, like symbolically and literally, they cut the pen in half.
Yeah, and like I think this kind of like etched his place in history, because I mean, like he was already pretty big, but just the fact that he was assassinated, I think like people
not even halfway through life, he wasn't even like 35.
Yeah, I think people will be talking about him for many years. Like I think in the future presidential elections, I can guarantee that he'll be brought up. I'm actually going to put that on my bingo card for 2028. But yeah, I mean, I never really followed Charlie super closely, really until a few months before he was killed, which was kind of wild. Because his episode on Tucker Carlson was awesome.
Yeah,
and like I had just started like watching his videos a bit before that. Because like at first, like the first few videos I saw, I thought it was a little bit more rage baity, but then like I really actually watched what he was talking about and
the long form stuff.
Yeah, and like I mean, like there have been a lot of like a lot of videos that people have cut of him put him in a bad light, but I think what he was really good at was like matching the other person's demeanor. And like he really mirrored how they were acting.
Yeah, really great candor, really quick thinking, super intelligent. I mean, if you've never watched videos of him debating people on a campus, I would highly encourage it. There's a lot of really good material out there. You have anything else to add to that?
Yes. So, and then like I kind of feel like it, him being shot has also kind of pushed people in different directions. Like I know a lot of people are going to Nick Fuentes, which I haven't seen like a ton of his stuff. I don't really know a whole lot about him. But as soon as he was shot, his like Nick Fuentes' stuff started popping up all over the place.
Yeah, and like notice also the other stuff like with Trump and the 50-year mortgage and kind of the self-inflicted wounds that the Trump administration is doing right now. How many of those would have been prevented by Kirk?
Yeah,
because everybody, like when it came out, like everyone was saying that Kirk was almost like another son to Trump. Like
he was one of his closest advisors.
Yes, and like he was essentially the voice of us young people.
Yeah,
being like, hey, like here's what the under 30s are saying. This is what they're thinking. This is what they're feeling. This is what they care about.
But it was more than that, because he was also so intelligent and so well versed in Christianity and economics and the Constitution, where I think a lot of times he probably influenced Trump's policy decisions to be more grounded in those areas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and like I don't like he wasn't someone who was like self-serving at all. He believed these things, or believed the things he did because he thought they were like genuinely good for the country as a whole. And yeah, he just wasn't like a self-serving person with his beliefs.
Yeah. All right. Conspiracy time. What do you guys think?
Ted is wondering if we believe there is the current story, or if there's a larger conspiracy. I'll go first. I haven't dug into it too much.
Yeah.
But I did think it was weird that there was, one guy, there were two guys arrested right away. One guy, George Zinn, apparently screaming that he shot Kirk, running around.
Yeah, that part of the story was crazier. It was crazy, and it kept getting crazier when then he was actually arrested for child pornography after that.
Yeah. And then there was another guy who on video, you can see him jump up and he's cheering as Charlie's being carried off stage. And then the fact that this shooter somehow evaded, the FBI for 3, 4, 5 days.
Yeah, it was a lot longer.
And was turned in by his dad, who recognized him. I don't know if that speaks to the incompetence of the FBI or a level of organization that, enabled that. So
I mean, it's just one of those things, kind of like you mentioned the Crooks shooting earlier with the Trump attempted assassination. There's so many things about it that are so weird. Whether it's I saw this one thing. I never dove into the rabbit hole on the conspiracy theories here, because a lot of them you see a couple seconds and you're like, okay, well that's ridiculous. But there was something where they were going through and parsing through the Google data, because you can see on Google in their data where searches have spiked and stuff. And so there's one area where searches for the name of the hospital closest to the university, which is a small hospital, and then the names of every surgeon that worked at that hospital all spiked one day at the end of July. And it's okay, that's a really strange coincidence.
What's the implication then?
Well, same with the exact type of rifle, I think, and then same with the name Tyler Robinson.
Yes, yeah. So it's was someone searching all these things to try to orchestrate this? That's the implication of all those specific things that are not ever searched, all being searched all of a sudden in July. So that's weird. And then Charlie's producer, I forget his name, Aaron or Andrew or something, after the shooting, he was saying some weird stuff about how, when the surgeon got to Charlie, when they brought him to the hospital, the surgeon said there was no exit wound, which, bullets bounce around, so there's not always an exit wound. But then the surgeon said it's because Charlie's vertebrae in his neck were so strong that the bullet just stopped and it should have gone through and hit someone behind him, but it didn't. And it's okay, well, there's a 30-06 round from Mauser. Is that realistic? Because for hunting purposes, 30-06 is a pretty powerful round.
Also depends on the round.
Depends on the grain.
Is it a hollow point, a lightweight hollow point? That might have.
But then, with that, we never got a ballistics report. We never got an autopsy. There was no autopsy done, apparently. And then there's a gag order on all the court proceedings for there's all this stuff where it's if you wanted people to not think there's a conspiracy, you would not do any of these any of these things. So it's interesting. I'm not bought into any of the conspiracy theories on it, but you see people like Candace who are way down the rabbit hole on it. And I think with those people, not to say that they're wrong, like I don't know exactly what happened, right?
To be fair, she did force them to release like these transcripts.
Yeah.
I did see, this is the one thing about the Kirk assassination that I did see, is that he was actively pulling away from political causes that are, very very powerful interests.
AIPAC. Yeah.
Yes, he was actively pulling away from AIPAC, and then like what, 2 days later, he gets whacked.
Yeah.
And so Candace Owens knew this existed, forced the producer and other people to release it after they had denied it. So
yeah,
make what you will of that, but that also smells really funny.
Yeah. But I think a lot of times when you see someone like Candace going down this rabbit hole on everything in pop culture, or you see, there's always like that joke about your uncle conspiracy theorist that believes every conspiracy theory to ever exist. It's like, I call it the Alex Jones effect. I'm not sure if other people call it that, but it's like Alex Jones has seen so many crazy conspiracies come true and like actually be real conspiracies that in his mind, every single thing he looks at has to look like a conspiracy theory.
Well, what's
he's gotten so many
Alex
right.
Jones hit rate?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
pretty
Like
high.
someone we need to actually do like a quantitative study on this of his claims and see which ones are actually correct, because
they are turning the frogs gay. 9/11 did happen. Like
and he predicted it.
Yeah. The what's the owl burning ceremony? What's that called? Bohemian Grove. Yep.
Yeah.
Real thing.
A lot of the WEF stuff.
Epstein, real.
Yeah.
Like there's all these things that Alex Jones was right about. So to him, when he sees, like
I
the
think
shooting,
the Chinese are cloning people too.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, yeah. They just came out with like a study where they were working on it. Yeah.
Well, they were working on it. We haven't gotten there yet. I promise. Yeah, 100% are. They're taking their best guys and just 12 million.
But yeah, I don't know. So I think whenever you have seen a lot of conspiracies become true for someone like Candace, it starts to have that Alex Jones effect where everything looks like a conspiracy. So
maybe everything is a conspiracy, though.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, everything is a conspiracy, right? Because everything is a group of people getting together and making things happen. It's just a matter of how many other people know about it. You know what I mean? Like that's, and I guess what purpose is, like, what is the nature of the effort? You know? Is it nefarious? Is it good? And if it's a nefarious thing that a certain segment of the population, it might be 5 people, it might be 500 people, knows about, is that a conspiracy?
Yeah.
I would say you could make the argument that yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like the word conspiracy, we need to like strike that from the vocabulary because it's such a loaded term.
It's been weaponized.
Yeah. It's like there's plenty of words like that that cause short circuits in people's brains, and is also kind of a way, I think, for people like us who are, who would like to appear reasonable, might not. We would like to appear reasonable, and it's our way of being like, well, but actually, or like, well, I'm not saying that this is 100% right, but. And, like when you say, oh, it might be a conspiracy theory or conspiracy theorists have said this, it's kind of like self-absolution.
Yeah.
You're kind of like scapegoating, like intellectual scapegoats.
You're just holding the tinfoil hat. You're not putting it on.
So that's something that I'm definitely going to work on, is just being like, hey, like people have said this, and trying not to use, particular.
A lot of people say.
Yes, some people say. That's my favorite.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Not me, but a lot of others.
But yeah, so I think that the Alex Jones effect, it's AKA being 100% right all the time. I think that's the new definition. We'll come out with like an actual
Quantitative analysis of Alex Jones's hits and misses.
We'll have a lot of tape to look at.
Yes,
There's I don't know when he
so much
started, but it's
tape.
probably in like the early 2000s.
Well, I feel like
not the 90s.
if we just go with like
before 9/11, so
Oh, yeah.
25 plus years.
I feel like there's got to be a way that we could like scrape it or something and be like subjects that he's talked
I
about.
don't even know.
You know what I mean?
The problem is like you can't even ask AI to do it if there's no transcript for it. Like if you ask AI to break down what we talked about on this episode,
Maybe we can get-
since there's no transcript of it anywhere, it won't be able to tell
Maybe
you.
we can get Elon Musk to buy InfoWars and then use Grok to transcribe all
An
of it.
InfoWar files.
And then we have Grok publish the info files.
There's still a lawsuit going on about his
Yeah,
his
like
InfoWars, right?
They want to like buy it.
And,
Well,
like, dismantle
no.
it.
They're not even like letting them buy it. They're like gonna give it to the I guess the what's the
It's
word?
like the San Diego-
Yeah, but, like it doesn't have
people
it
who are
doesn't
suing.
have like any assets really, and it's not really worth anything without him. So it's like it doesn't even make sense.
And they also sued him for like
But-
$9 billion,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. And but it also sets
Yeah.
the precedent here that if anyone is saying, stuff going back to like the speech thing,
Yeah.
if they are taking Jones' business away, suing him into the ground, and he's actively paying out $9 billion, which means like he's never going to be able to pay that back. What's to stop? Like there's people like the Destiny guy, other like influencer types, like podcaster types on the other end of the aisle. Like, what's to stop someone like me, who is a normal person, from suing them for being like, hey, they offended me in some kind of way?
Yeah, you should actually sue Bill Gates for $9 billion for all the tax revenue that you contributed to that went to climate change initiatives.
Could be a move. Watch out, Bill Gates.
All right. Well, with that, if you see people saying things that
You don't like, sue them.
that you believe may be incorrect or misleading, have a conversation with them and try to be respectful and learn first. Really easy way to do it is first learn why they're saying what they're saying, how they came to their conclusions, and then start asking them questions about it. And then if they're receptive and they want to hear what you think, then just have a reasonable conversation with them. It can be hard sometimes. Not everyone will do it with you, but you'd be surprised if you'd be surprised by the amount of people that will have a reasonable conversation with you, especially if you start off respectful and you don't come off as combative.
And you would also be very surprised at how many people believe things without knowing why they believe them.
Yes, that is.
So it's a really cool cross section.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Always start with listening. I agree. It's great advice because you'll soon figure out whether the conversation is going to go anywhere.
Yeah. All right. With that, we will see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us today at Weights and Wealth, and don't forget to apply today's lessons to live healthy and wealthy.
If this conversation will contribute to your fitness and financial gains, please share it with a friend or family member and give a 5-star review so more people can lift bigger weights and get bigger bank accounts.